Right, everyone. So we're reading an article here from The Gamer with the headline: Forget last gen support. Call of Duty fans should be mad about AI. Last week, it was reported that this year's Call of Duty, which is rumored to be a direct sequel to 2012's Black Ops 2, is aiming to release on last gen hardware, PS4 and Xbox One, alongside the current slate of consoles and PCs. Of course, nothing is set in stone right now, with Insider Gaming recently reporting that its sources couldn't definitely say whether it will actually release on last gen or leave the old hardware behind for good. That didn't stop loads of fans from taking aim at the prospect of yet another title appearing on old hardware and potentially holding the series back from its full potential. Wish they'd move the F on, one user wrote, with others sharing similar viewpoints. It's understandable that with the semi frequent release of cross gen games still being produced, or in the case of Hogwarts Legacy and Star Wars Jedi Survivor being ported backwards after releasing as current gen exclusives, gamers are still looking for ways to justify their next gen console purchase almost 5 years removed from the release. The PS5 and Xbox Series X don't feel like the industry leading pieces of hardware they should be. Meanwhile, others are looking for a reason to jump ship and leave their dusty old boxes behind. But Call of Duty is the last game anyone should be spending their energy rallying behind in the current landscape, when the hugely popular shooter franchise recently admitted it uses generative AI, adding to the laundry list of problems players have with a series willing to nickel and dime them every step of the way. Back in July, it was revealed that Modern Warfare 3 Yoki bundle was created using generative AI. The skin was made and sold for nearly $20, despite internal guarantees from Activision that AI would not be used for final in-game assets, but rather concepts that would then be fleshed out by human beings. Clearly, that promise has been left in the dust. Things have quickly snowballed since. Last year, Black Ops 6 is littered with AI-generated assets across its digital storefronts, including some very noticeable attempts from Zombie Santa to NSFW calling cards to a very blatant recreation of Hatsune Miku. The game is seemingly packed with calling cards, icons, loading screens, and more that have been produced by generative AI. The situation isn't helped by the fact that Activision has been posting feelers for potential mobile games, including one centered on Guitar Hero, Crash Bandicoot, and COD, with art that is entirely AI generated. That's not to mention that up until last week, Black Ops 6 never once disclosed its use of generative AI on Steam, a necessary component of having a game listed on the storefront. All of this is to say that fans of the iconic FPS series and now Activision as a whole have a lot more to worry about than whether the next game will arrive on PS4 or Xbox One. In many ways, news of last gen support feels like an almost too constant, con- coincidental smokescreen to detract from the real issues at hand. And then it goes on to say a lot more. But look, this is going to be something the gaming industry is going to be dealing with for, quite some time now. Everybody's going to be trying this out, right? Everybody's going to be trying out the Call of Duty, well, Call of Duty in this case, but all games are going to be trying to do this generative AI and, to save money. And it's only going to be from kind of calling it out, backlash, stuff like that, that's going to get them to change it, because there really is, I think, fine if somebody's saying, hey, this employee, they could do a lot more with their time if they use AI as a kind of starting point and then they build off it and make it something that's human done, right? So it started with AI, but at the end of the day, it still has that human touch and it still is using, that person. But if you're just putting AI stuff in the game and basically, using it to take jobs, it's just not going to be as good. This is always kind of the thing with all of these kind of get rich quick schemes, right? Or these basically instead of just making this great game and making sure everything's perfect, you're trying to cut corners here and cut corners there. It never works out. It never is something that people are like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." You always lose that kind of that that greatness of it, and everybody knows that too. And so that's what's so, I think, frustrating to a lot of people is like, look, nobody really wants all these calling cards and all these things. Look, we just want a good Call of Duty game. We don't really care about all this. You're the ones who are putting that kind of pressure on yourself to produce so much stuff to be bought. They're the ones that are doing that. We just want a good game. And they don't seem to be at all necessarily worried about that. Now, I didn't think the last Call of Duty was all that bad at all. I had fun playing it, still play it. It's fine, right? There's nothing wrong with it. But my problem is when you have stuff like this, it just shows where their focus is. Their focus is on the cosmetics. Their focus is on how can we get more call signs in the game. And it's like we don't care about that, right? We just want a good solid Call of Duty. I hope they start giving it to us. Look, these as good as these games are, these still aren't anywhere near from Call of Duty 4 to Modern Warfare 3, and maybe a few more after that too, but nowhere near those games. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next time.